Hello, you level grinding cats and dolls out there in YouTube land. I'm the anti-hero drinking as always gamers. Thank you for tuning in. So if you haven't seen my video before about the PlayStation 4 needing more RPGs, by the way, shameless plug, check that out. But something else I want to go add to that is the fact that I'm hoping in 2014, with the cusp of so many games that were promised to get around that time, like Infinite Second Son, Watch Dogs, The Evil Within, Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3, Dragon Age, so forth and so on. We all know we're not going to get that of video games that's going to defy the PlayStation 4. But something the PlayStation 4 does offer over the Xbox One is the fact that we're going to get a big push of indie games supposedly in 2014 when they get Gaikai or whatever up and running. And I'm really hoping that they take advantage of all the great horror games that are on the indie market. Something that we did not see a great presence in the last console generation. I listen to a lot of Alpha Omega Sin. I like all his videos. I recommend you check out the guy. He's pretty big. He's funny, hilarious, and just everything else. But he always talks about horror games, and it really got me into playing horror games. Just his recommendations for games, what he really likes about horror games, and there is just not enough support for horror games in the last console generation. We had games like Deadly Premonition, a fucking fantastic game that you should play. We had Silent Hill Downpour, loved the hell out of that. I didn't play Homecoming because the reviews are mixed on that, but I'm going to give it a try. And then we had Dead Space 1. Everything after that kind of went into drifting territory. And we had Alan Wake. Outside of that, we had a tremendous amount of shitty horror games, mostly coming from people like Capcom and EA when Dead Space was actually really cool and making money that they tried to go fucking suck all the life out of it. But there wasn't that big presence of horror games or a big emphasis on horror. It was kind of like last console generation. If you played a good horror game, it was by mistake. Like, you played it, you weren't expecting it, and it just happened. And nobody knows how or why it happened. It just did. But the difference is, on the indie market, it seems like there's a true emphasis on horror games. Or at least a true emphasis on horror itself. The idea of putting a player as defenseless as possible in a situation facing enemies grander than fucking life and trying your hardest to actually survive. And an emphasis on surviving, hiding, outsmarting the enemy AIs, and little to absolutely no weapons whatsoever in the game. And I'm really hoping that the PS4 actually takes advantage of a lot of these games. I know one that's coming over is Outlast, which I'm playing right now. Really fucking fun game. But I'm hoping a lot of the other ones really come over. Like the Amnesia series would be really fucking cool. Other games like Quarantine. It really feels like, well, from what I played so far, Quarantine, it really feels like what Left 4 Dead should have evolved into. And it's a really, really fun game. Then there's games like Stalker and, of course, the Slender Man series. All these would be welcome additions to console gaming and actually have a huge emphasis on horror. And that's something a lot of us who play video games feel that we don't get. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I hope Sony really digs deep and actually pulls out some really inventive indie games. And like I said, if a lot of these horror games actually make it over to console, I'm a happy camper, and that will keep me busy, and I know it'll keep a lot of gamers busy until 2015 comes out. We get that oomph of video games that we're looking forward to. Outside of that, hopefully I'll get this video up before it's New Year's, and Happy New Year's, be safe. I'm looking forward to another year of trying to get out video game news to anybody, and anybody out there who's willing to listen to me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate the feedback. And hopefully next year, it doesn't suck as much for video games as it did this year. It didn't suck too badly, but games that suck, you know yourselves. Anyway, enjoy your New Year's. Peace, sayonara, later.